Hi, my name is Nicholas Wile. My group mates are Andy Lee and Kenny Tran. Today I'm going to be presenting our prototype for assignment number 2. First I'm going to go through the specific requirements on the rubric, and then I'm going to play through it to demonstrate some of the mechanics. So the first requirement was to design a scenario so that you need to use at least 2 cameras for your game. For our first level, we use 3 different cameras, a main camera, which is attached to our player. It is a first-person controller. Our second camera is a UI camera, which just handles the HUD, which you can see through this viewport here, and disabling it disables the HUD. And then we have the cutscene camera, which follows a Bezier curve. If I turn it on, then you can see it is loaded and ready to present the cutscene. Now use the camera depth to manage your camera's rendering order. That is the next requirement. So the cameras are all on different layers. The Bezier camera is on the cutscene layer, and the camera for UI is on the UI layer, and then the main camera is on the default layer. And then the next requirement is to use the culling mask to structure our object. So this camera's culling mask is on everything except for UI and cutscene, and the clear flag is skybox, so we have a nice skybox in the background. Then for the UI camera, the culling mask is for user interface, and the clear flag is depth only. This is so that the UI will show up over the ground. If it is not selected, then the UI is actually not visible. Hold on. Let me get rid of the Bezier camera. There we go. And then the Bezier camera is rendering with a skybox, and the culling mask is everything, including the cutscene cam. And I think that's a mistake. These should be unchecked for the culling mask for that. Now, implement your Bezier curve for objects. You must do this programmatically. And we have a different Bezier curve in each scene for each person in the group. So for my Bezier curve, I used a cubic curve with 4 waypoints. I drew it with the gizmos function so that I could plan it out, the path that my cutscene camera is going to take. What I'm going to demonstrate later is Andy's curve, which is used on an enemy, and Kenny's curve, which is used for a random object in his scene. So this is the gizmos, and these are the waypoints used for it. And we're going to go to the next scene, which is Andy's scene, to look at his Bezier curve. So while I used a cubic function for my 4 waypoints, he used a linear function, for his 2 waypoints. But when you look in the code, you can see this is made using a Bezier function. And now in Kenny's scene, his Bezier curve is quadratic because he uses 3 waypoints to get this object to move in an arc, and it is supposed to signify a Roomba cleaning the floor. And as I've also demonstrated, we each had our own scenes. I did the forest scene, I used a terrain, and I made some trees, and I made a house that the player can enter. Where is the house? Right here. And Andy made a haunted interior for it, and Kenny made a magical maze. Alright, and so we covered the HUD, or no we haven't. The HUD is for stamina and flashlight, and we do have a menu system. And there are also sound effects, and of course, there's a background music to the main menu. So, without further ado, let's go through the game. I'm not sure if this audio is going to be picked up. If not, then I'm going to have to do a separate recording for that. Alright, first we have the credits. And we can quit the game if we're playing the built app of it. Here we go. So the main mechanics are the flashlight, which can be triggered on and off, or toggled on and off, hitting the F key. You can't hear it, but there are background sound effects created by Kenny. He used a real-life flashlight, so you can hear it turning on and off. You can walk with WSAD, and you can run with Shift. Running into the spooky forest, exploration being a big mechanic here. But we don't have time to sit and explore the forest. We want to go through this as quickly as possible. But first, as you can see, the flashlight bar, which is the white one, is decreasing while the flashlight is on, but when it's off, it does not decrease. But it's too dark to see without it, so we are going to keep it on. And when we run with Shift, stamina goes down, but it regenerates over time. When you get close to this note, it says press E to read the note. Do not trust the house. Alright, setting up a little bit of a narrative there. And since our battery is getting low, we are going to go over here and pick up the battery. It regenerates the flashlight. Now, I already know where the house is in the actual game. You'd be exploring the forest to try to find it, but we're going to run along the path really quickly to get there so we don't run out of time. I might even speed this up. No, I'm not going to speed this up. I don't have time to edit this video. It's getting late. Alright. Now, when you hit this trigger here, a cutscene is activated to provide an establishing shot of the house. In the actual built app, the lighting is better. I'm not sure why it looks so bad. Here, door is locked. You can't open it. So you use your gamer's intuition to go around the house and collect this key, which doesn't look like a key, but it is one. And now that we have got it, you can now open the door. Oh, but when you try to go back, the door is locked. You can't get out. We're going to turn the flashlight off now that we're indoors. So here we go. We're walking in the haunted house. Oh my gosh! Did you see that skeleton? What was he doing? Oh, it's just the artificial intelligence. He's now doing an idle animation. But if we get too close, he jump scares you. We don't have the audio for that yet. And we're not going to pick up that battery because we don't need it. We're going to now run to the next stage. You go up the stairs and it loads into Kenny's floor. You can actually go back down these stairs and it'll load you back on Andy's floor, but I don't want to do that. Alright. We've got another note. A good key is hard to find. Alright, so what that means is there's a key hidden on this floor. This is a maze, and we had a hard time finding it. Even Kenny himself had a hard time finding it. So we know the solution. I'm just going to run through the solution real quick. But the actual player would spend a lot more time running through the entire maze trying to find this key. And we go turn the flashlight off. Oops. Is that a dead end? That is a dead end. Also, some of these walls are one-sided to create a really difficult challenge of trying to get through here and finding the key. Okay, we've picked it up. And here we can see his Bezier curve is implemented. There's a Roomba cleaning the floor. Alright, now we can hit this, and we're back at the main start here. And if you hit quit, it quits in the built version of the game. And I believe that is it. So thank you for watching this presentation.